Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing great. I'm Kirti Sophia Panachan, and in today's session we'll be continuing writing for professional purposes. This is part 3. In the previous class we were learning how to write a product review. So here we'll be continuing it. The format of a review is as follows. The first one is write a good introduction. A good review introduction will not only hook the reader but also provide a clear picture of the product under review and the product's advertised benefits. The second point is consider the first time users. Explain the functionality of the product in some detail, treating the product as if all the features are new. And by doing this, we teach new customers about a product and its important aspects through the product review. For experienced consumers, focus on the evolution of a product from one model to the next, as well as any common defects or problems users may have encountered in the past could be also described in the product review. The next one is describe the product under review. Provide the reader with the basic information a consumer likes to know before buying a product. This may include brand name, model number, measurements, targeted users, price, and so on. Be balanced. Talk about what you liked and what you don't like about the product. The most helpful reviews are those that outline both pros and cons of a product, while the readers will most likely skip reviews full of praises or full of bitter criticism. So, the review should be in a balanced manner. Next one is explain how you arrived at your judgments. Specifically address why you believe certain features are beneficial and why you consider others are flawed. So you should be very critical about your judgment of the product while you review it. Compare and contrast products. Discuss the product under review in light of similar products available to buyers. We could compare the pros and cons of each product, and by this the consumer will arrive at a conclusion regarding which product they should buy. And the last one is write a conclusion. A good conclusion will summarize the benefits and flaws of the product, evaluate whether the product lives up to the company's marketing, and communicate your opinion on whether the product offers good value, whether the consumer should buy the product or not. So a conclusion is also extremely important while writing a review of a product. Moving on, now let's learn about how to write case studies. What are case studies? Case studies are stories. They present realistic, complex, and contextual rich situations and often involve a dilemma, conflict, or problem that one or more of the characters in the case must negotiate. Case studies have been used most extensively in the teaching of medicine, law, and business. As an instructional strategy, case studies have a number of virtues. They bridge the gap between theory and practice and between the academy and the workplace. They also give students practice in identifying the parameters of a problem, recognizing and articulating positions, evaluating courses of action, and arguing different points of view. Now let's learn what are the uses of case studies. They can be used in lecture-based or discussion-based classes. They could be used in classroom learning process. They can be real with all the detail drawn from actual people and circumstances, or simply realistic. We all, while we are learning, love to see or listen about real life incidents, and this is one of them. The next is they can provide all the relevant data students need to discuss and resolve the central issue or only some of it, requiring students to identify and possibly fill in the missing information. It is like a puzzle for the students, and there are gaps in between this puzzle, and those things should be filled by the student. The next is they can challenge students to examine multiple aspects of a problem or just a circumscribed piece. So this also evaluate the critical thinking ability of a student. They can make students propose a solution for the case or simply identify the parameters of the problem. So, by the use of case studies, students will be well equipped to handle it in real life situations. Now we will learn about how to lead a case-based discussion. There are 6 steps that are involved in it, and the first one is utilize ample time to read and think about the case. So while you are studying about a case, you should take a lot of time to read about it and think critically about the case, and many questions should arise in your mind, like what are some possible course of actions, what might have made the person do such a crime, or all these things. The second one is get some guidelines for how to approach it. So here we could break down the steps in analyzing the case. We could first identify the constraints each character in the case was operating under, or what all are the opportunities he or she had. And the second one is that evaluate the decisions each character made and why did they make such a decision. And the final step would be explain what you would have done differently and why. So this is how you could just break down the problem or the case into step-by-step process. The third one is work in groups and make sure everyone is involved, but make sure that a general structure is followed. Designate roles within the group. So group work is always good, and while we are working in a group, we should make sure that everybody has an opportunity to speak up their thoughts and ideas, and we should give roles to each of the group members so that there won't be much of an issue between the group members. The fourth one is present solutions or reasoning. Project the conclusions on the board so that they can come up in the discussion that follows a presentation of case study. So whatever things that they have come up with as a conclusion could be written on the board so that everybody could discuss about what are the possible conclusions and whether they are apt. The fifth one is guide the discussion and probe for deeper analysis without over-directing. As the discussion unfolds, Raise questions that call for participants to examine their own assumptions, substantiate their claims, provide illustrations, etc. So the discussion should be in a guided manner, and the discussion purpose is for analyzing the case in a deeper manner. So it should not be over direct, and many questions should be arised, and the participants should make an assumption of what all might have happened, and they should substantiate their claims. They could provide illustration or evidences for substantiating it. Moving on to the last point, synthesize issues raised. The job of synthesizing need not necessarily fall to the instructor. However, one or more students can take this task. So students have also a role in synthesizing the issues that have been raised during the case study. The instructor need not be there always. So these are the 6 important points that we should keep in mind while we lead a case-based discussion. So that's all for today. I hope today's session was fruitful for you all. Thank you so much.